Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents I'm Still With You. Communicate, Heal, and Evolve with Your Loved One on the Other Side by Sherrie Dillard. Narrated by Richardson. Introduction. When a loved one passes over. Not long ago, I taught a workshop on how to communicate with the other side. In this experiential class, students learned how to intuitively connect with their own and others' family and friends on the other side. Over the course of my 30-plus years as a medium, I've taught this class many times. However, as I stood in the front of the room that Sunday afternoon, I could feel that something was different. As I explained various spiritual concepts and the mechanics of communicating with the other side, I felt something or someone pull my attention away from the class and into the spirit realm. This was not a gentle nudge, but a pay attention to me kind of spirit intrusion. Not wanting to take time away from my students, I did my best to stay focused, and fortunately this spirit interruption didn't seem to affect others. On my way home, the spirit presence that I felt during the class came closer and felt stronger. During the 90-minute drive, I talked to this spirit and asked him such things as what happened and how was your passing. As this presence drew closer, I felt a tugging in my heart, and I found myself spontaneously expressing my love for him. In return, I felt his warmth and love, and tears came to my eyes. As strange as this may sound, I knew that I was talking to my ex-husband. However, even though I knew that his spirit was with me, I wasn't ready to acknowledge that he had passed over. As far as I knew, he was healthy and alive in the physical world. The shock of seeing and feeling his spirit close was more than I was able to accept, so I continued this conversation in as much denial as I could muster. Later that evening, I received a message from one of the students in the class. He told me that he didn't want to intrude into my personal life, but he felt compelled to reach out and tell me that he felt a male spirit close to me during the class. He seemed to be trying to get your attention, he said. I acknowledged his astute, intuitive observation and told him that I felt him too. The next morning, I received a phone call from a friend letting me know that Kenny, my ex-husband, had died the afternoon before. His time of death coincided with the start of my class, and unbeknownst to me, we were just a few miles apart at the time. Like others who suffer a loss, I felt a flood of emotions and unanswered questions crowd into my mind. Unlike a television sitcom where the loose ends are neatly woven together to make for a satisfying ending, his passing left me feeling incomplete. There were feelings and emotions that hadn't been expressed, and unresolved issues that I knew we both needed to work through. Over the course of my professional career as a medium, I've given readings to many who feel the same way. When a loved one passes over, we are often overwhelmed with emotion. Along with emotions such as grief, shock, and confusion, we may not be ready to let go. The relationship may not feel complete, and we might feel that we need more time with our loved one. Perhaps we haven't expressed all that is in our heart, or it might feel as if something has been left undone. There may have been a shared higher purpose, lesson, or gift that wasn't actualized. Or we may regret not making the most of our time together. When we feel as if we have failed to fully reconcile our differences with another, it can be challenging to find peace with ourselves. Death can feel like the end. When a loved one dies, they seem gone forever and out of our reach. We may cling to all that we shared with them and hold on tightly to past memories in an attempt to keep them close. We may wonder where they are, what they are experiencing, and if they can see and sense us. However, even when we are not aware that our loved one, family member, or friend is close, they are, perhaps even looking right at us and likely trying to get our attention. Love between souls doesn't diminish with passing. Not only is our love eternal, our bond and connection with those we love survives physical death. Why we seek mediums. Many of my clients are spurred to have a medium reading because of the loss of a loved one. Some may not have previously thought much about communicating with the other side, yet their grief and sadness and the sense that their loved one may be close compels them to reach out in any way possible. Some have felt the presence of a loved one in a dream or noticed signs such as pennies on their path or a bird that continuously sits on their window ledge, and they wonder if their loved one is trying to get their attention or send them a message. Despite our grief and anguish over losing a loved one, in our deepest heart we may sense that they are close. The soft whispers that they are still a part of us and we are a part of them resound even within our doubts. Yet we may not know how to bridge the gap between realms. When a loved one passes over, we can no longer rely on text messages, emails, or other forms of more worldly communication. Instead, we are confronted with the task of finding out if there is a way to slip under the curtain between realms. In the physical world, we often define our relationships by our shared everyday activities, goals, common beliefs, and how we feel in another's presence. When we do things together, share intimacies, discuss our thoughts and feelings, express our love, and seek to understand one another, our bond with them strengthens and feels more solid. However, there is also something undefinable that exists between ourselves and those we love. It is not easy to fully grasp and put into words the special something we feel and experience in their presence. This magnet-like current seems to draw us to one another and keeps us loving and devoted to them, despite how challenging the relationship may be. When a loved one passes over, that not so easy to identify invisible something is what we are left with. It is an energy, a pull, a feeling and connection, a magical synergy. In our connectedness with a friend, lover, partner, or family member, we are someone different than who we are when we are alone. When a loved one transitions, we not only grieve their passing, we also miss a part of ourselves. Memories of our loved ones often bring us comfort and sustain us. Through recalling shared events and special moments, we resurrect what was and remember parts of ourselves. The past becomes a safe and loving haven, as well as a link to our loved one and the life that now may seem to be gone forever. Dwelling on memories is a natural and necessary part of the grieving process. However, if we stay too long and get overly focused on the past, we miss out on the very real present where the activity of our life is taking place. We also miss out on the opportunity to discover that the special something that exists between ourselves and our loved one is still present. Even though we may feel raw, vulnerable, and alone, there is often a sliver of recognition that they are somehow close, maybe by our side, and still loving us. As comforting as it may be, the idea that it is possible that a loved one is alive and present may not always be easy to accept. The thought that there is life after death and that we can communicate with the other side can feel a bit daunting and beyond our reach. Intuitive awareness on the other side is immediate. Although we may hesitate to accept that those in the spirit realm can reach out and be with us, our loved ones on the other side are experiencing something quite different. For those in the spirit realm, communicating with loved ones still in the physical world is more straightforward and uncomplicated. Even if they had no interest in intuition while here in the physical world, this is now the natural way that they communicate. It is not something that they believe or don't believe is possible. It just is. They see us and are aware of our thoughts and feelings and long to let us know that they are close. the other side is not as distant and beyond our grasp as we may believe. It is an integral aspect of our wholeness and the home of our loved ones who have passed over. When a loved one leaves the physical world, our bond with them still exists. Even though they are no longer in the body and we can't do all of the things with them that brought us joy and gave us comfort, our connection with them is still valuable. On the other side, our loved ones continue to support and love those they left behind. They have ascended into a higher state of love and wisdom and perceive us through this enlightened awareness. They are able to better understand the purpose and soulful meaning of our relationship with them, and they celebrate the joy and support they shared with us. The mystery of their connection with those they were close to in the physical world has both deepened and been revealed. Where the information comes from. This book offers new insights and information about what your loved ones on the other side are likely experiencing and how to communicate, grow, and evolve along with them. It will open you to new possibilities and avenues to explore within yourself and with those on the other side. For over 35 years, I've communicated with those on the other side and witnessed the healing and transformation that often occurs when we become open to the possibility of connecting to our loved ones who have passed on. This book serves as a guide to better understanding the rich and varied life that our loved ones are creating and experiencing on the other side. It provides suggestions to help you move through the grieving process and guides you into a transformative, soul-to-soul journey with your loved one. Throughout the book, there are case studies taken from my almost 4 decades of experience as a medium, from people who may not have believed in life after death to those who intuitively prepared themselves to communicate with their loved ones before passing over. The stories span a wide spectrum of experiences. These accounts of how others dealt with grief and loss and were able to heal and continue their soul journey with their loved ones illustrate the guiding power and force of love that is at work after a loved one passes over. Although I've been communicating with those on the other side for many years, I'm still surprised at times by the information that I receive. When I'm perplexed and need more clarification as to the broader meaning of what a client's loved one on the other side has communicated, I turn to my spirit guides. They help to fill in the blanks so that I can better understand the vast intricacies and possibilities of life beyond the physical world. I share these insights with you so that you too can benefit from the healing and enlightened awareness that your loved ones may be experiencing. As you explore the wonders of the limitless realm of spirit, a deep and abiding peace and connection with the other side will fill your heart and soul. In my books, You Are a Medium, and I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like, I introduce my spirit guides and describe my early childhood encounters with the other side and my work as a professional medium. Support for your journey. Through the rich, interwoven connections that we continually share with our loved ones on the other side, we are continually being influenced and guided. As our loved ones are welcomed into the light of the heavens, we may find ourselves in the midst of the grieving process, feeling lost and not sure where to turn or what to do. However, it doesn't matter if you've had a recent loss or if your loved one passed over some time ago. You can heal and move forward, knowing that your loved ones are close by and with you every step of the way. While our loved ones undergo the profound transformation of passing over, we begin the long and often arduous journey through loss and grief. It winds us through unknown territory, where we navigate our way through an emotional depth that we might not be familiar with. Grief changes us, and despite its difficulties and challenges, it can also herald a time of increased awareness, spiritual renewal, and the opportunity to open ourselves to the vastness of love beyond form. To help you better understand what your loved one is experiencing and to support you in this journey of healing and transformation, the book is divided into 3 sections: Living in the Wonder of the Other Side, Lifting the Curtain, Communication Between the Realms, and Transforming, Healing, and Evolving. Living in the Wonder of the Other Side. In the first section, our loved one leaves the physical world and enters the spirit realm. Although everyone's death experience is unique, there are some commonalities. You will discover what your loved one likely encountered when they passed over and what they may be experiencing as they make their entry into the spirit realm. You'll also learn simple practices you can do that will help your loved one during and after passing, and aid them in making their way into the light of the heavens. Soon after passing over, our loved ones experience the soul review. For some, this process seems to occur spontaneously and quickly. Others experience the soul review as a series of insights, awareness, and heart-opening expansion. However, this activity can't be measured in Earth time, as the other side is always operating in the now, outside of time. Through this loving and transformative process, our loved one becomes aware of how their actions, choices, and decisions impacted their soul plan and affected those that they love. The soul review differs from soul to soul. You'll gain insight into what the soul review is like for children, for those who pass over from suicide or drug overdose, and for those who bring joy or knowingly cause pain to others. During the soul review, our loved ones become aware of the soul contracts they shared with others and have the opportunity to better understand why things happened the way that they did. The soul review is not a judgment, a fault-finding, or a way to incur shame and blame for misguided mistakes while in the physical world. Instead, it is an opportunity to become and be who they truly are. As our loved ones go through the soul review and awaken to their true self, they are able to positively influence and guide us. After the soul review, our loved ones live in an enlightened awareness. They see, feel, and know us through this transformed perspective and continue to reach out to guide us along our path. As they become aware of the opportunities and possibilities available to them in the spirit realm, new aspects of their divine individuality emerge. In addition to having fun and socializing, our loved ones may choose to continue to learn and become involved in soul group activities and service and creative projects. Lifting the curtain. Communication between the realms. During the difficult time after a loved one passes over, our grief and sense of loss can be overwhelming. It may feel as if a part of us has been torn away. In this raw and vulnerable time, many experience a surprising glimmer of hope when they sense or feel that their loved one may be near. When we embrace this hope instead of dismissing it, we begin the journey of interacting and communicating across the divide between the physical and spiritual realms. As our loved ones leave the physical body, they become aware that death is not the end. On the other side, they are able to see, feel, and draw close to those they love in the physical world, and they attempt to let us know that they are with us in a variety of ways. Although they are not always successful in delivering clear and understandable messages, they eventually become better at getting our attention. In this section, you'll gain insight into the common and more unusual ways that our loved ones reach out to us and how to better identify and decipher their messages. Communication sent to us from the other side often surfaces in ways that are not always easy to notice and detect. For instance, when a loved one on the other side goes through the soul review, we too may spontaneously recall memories and receive surprising insights about ourselves and our relationship. Through messages of forgiveness, love, and healing, Our loved ones extend to us the power and influence that the light of the heavens has had on them. Although we may not always be aware of their presence, the comfort and peace that they offer can lessen our grief and open us to deeper levels of self-understanding and inner healing. You will find that intuitively receiving and sending messages with your loved ones is unlike the kind of communication you may have seen or heard of professional mediums engaging in. Connecting with your own loved ones is more emotional and heart-centered than the objective information seeking of a professional medium. You don't need to be an advanced intuitive or medium to receive and share. When we pass over, we are immediately psychic, as intuition springs from our soul. Your loved ones are aware of the messages you send and do their best to let you know that they are still with you. Interaction and communion between the physical and spiritual realms is more natural and occurs more often than we might initially realize. Through insights and exercises, you will be better able to recognize the presence of your loved ones and receive the love, guidance, and healing they offer. As you become more comfortable with the unique intuitive language that you now share, you will feel closer and benefit from this interactive union. Transforming, healing, and evolving. As your loved one on the other side evolves and transforms, so can you. There's a lot we can learn from the Soul Review about how to live a more joy-filled and peaceful life here in the physical world. It is through the Soul Review process that occurs soon after passing that emotional burdens and misunderstandings are acknowledged and released. As earthly perceptions are let go, insight into the purpose and gifts that the physical life provided comes to light. We live in the pureness of our soul and enter into the full experience of divine freedom, love, and wisdom. In this section, you'll have insight into the lessons that the Soul Review offers and how to apply them to everyday life challenges and experiences. Through questions and meditations, you'll also be guided through a mini soul review where you can discover the essential and often unrecognized purpose that a loved one has brought into your life. In the physical world, we do our best to love and support our family, friends, and partners. However, our relationships can at times be challenging and bring our emotional wounds and what is in need of healing within us to the surface. There is a soul plan that isn't always evident or obvious that underlies our connections with the important people in our life. When a loved one passes over, we might feel as if we haven't resolved our issues or that something has been left undone. However, once on the other side, our loved ones are able to know and see with pure clarity and can support our awareness and healing. In this section, you'll learn about the soul contracts that you share with your loved ones and be able to heal confusing or challenging emotional patterns. The exercises can be applied to loved ones, relatives, and friends that you were close to, as well as more distant ancestors on the other side who you may not have known well or at all. Becoming aware of and clearing limiting emotional and family patterns not only frees us, it also heals our past and future, as well as the experiences of past generations and the lives of those who will come after us. When we experience healing and resolution from unsatisfying and repetitive relationship patterns, we cease creating and repeating the same unsatisfying connections with others over and over. We are truly free and create more joy and loving connections. Your time on earth is precious, and there are new experiences and ways of being for you to explore. Your loved ones on the other side are supporting your endeavors, nudging you forward, setting up opportunities for you to be in the right place at the right time, opening doors, and generally being a force of positivity in your life. The other side is not as distant and out of reach as we may believe. It is an integral aspect of our wholeness, and we can become more conscious of the ongoing eternal relationships that we share with those in the spirit realm. Section 1. Living in the Wonder of the Other Side. Chapter 1. The Transition from This World to the Next. The moment of our passing out of the physical body and into the spirit realm is a holy and intimate encounter with creative life force energy and truth. It doesn't matter the cause of our passing, the reason for leaving this earth, or the quality of our life. The doors to an all-encompassing love swing open. The heaviness of our troubles, worries, and suffering falls away, and we float in the soft rays of light. When someone close to us passes over, we may feel a wide range of emotions and reactions. For those who watched a loved one suffer through a long-term illness, the passing may be bittersweet. We may feel relieved that our loved one is no longer in pain and suffering. However, we still feel a tremendous amount of grief and loss. When a loved one's passing over is sudden and unexpected, we often experience shock, become numb, and perhaps go into denial. It may take time to fully feel and understand the tremendous change that has taken place in our lives. Whatever the circumstances of a loved one's passing, the life that we have been living is forever altered. Over the course of our relationships with those we love, we energetically bond. As we spend time together and share our thoughts, emotions, and love, our connection becomes stronger. Our life experiences, emotions, and thoughts harmonize, and our spirits become intertwined. From the physical perspective, we are in separate bodies, with a clear division and boundary between ourselves and another. From the spiritual energy framework, we are not as separate as what we may think. Our energy fields or auras and our souls are often interwoven, come together, intermingle, and flow into oneness with one another. Although the phrase, "the whole is greater than the sum of its parts," is attributed to the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, there is no text that links him to the quote directly. However, we do know that Aristotle wrote about this phenomenon. The change and transformation that occurs when things and people come together has been continually observed since his lifetime, sometime around 350 BCE. Since at least the middle of the 19th century, the term synergy began to be used in the field of physiology to describe this same sentiment. Synergy describes a phenomenon in which the combined energy of two or more parts creates something wholly new that transcends the original combination of the two. The idea of synergy is applied in areas such as psychology and the study of behavior, business, biology, and other sciences. In psychology, we find a similar type of understanding in Gestalt theory, which maintains that the whole is something else or something different than its parts. We experience this phenomenon in our relationships. Through our loving connections with others, we are changed and become someone different. We fall in love or are attracted to a particular person because of how we feel when we are with them. We are transformed. They bring out the best, most loving, fun, and interesting parts of us. In the glow of this recognition, we become our best selves. After a loved one passes over, we may feel raw, vulnerable, and disoriented, as if a part of us has been torn away. Although the very real and tangible bond that we feel with another is still present, we need time to transform and heal and become familiar with who we are without our loved one's physical presence. In addition to the deep sadness we feel, we might also experience a sense of being not altogether present, spacey, low energy, depressed, or lost. Our synergistic bond with others extends beyond our feelings of affection for them. Love energetically connects us to others. When we love another and share ourselves with him or her, our energy fields unite and fuse together almost as one. Although we still retain our individual energy field, our loved one becomes a part of us. This synergy of love transforms.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?